For many years, your days were full, not because you were some master of time management, but because life filled them for you. Work deadlines that actually mattered, school drop-offs where your kids still wanted you to walk them to the door, Saturday mornings at soccer fields, Tuesday night baseball practice, parent-teacher conferences. The details may have varied, but you probably experienced some version of this. You didn't have to think too hard about what came next. You just kept moving, people needed you, stuff had to get done, and even if you felt overwhelmed at times, you still had momentum. Then one day, maybe you noticed it gradually or maybe all at once, you noticed the calendar was getting quieter. And if you can relate to this story, be sure to share it in the comments. No more little kids to shuttle around. Work doesn't feel as urgent. Whatever you do for a living, even if you're tired of it, it's easier in the sense that you've gotten better at it. Or maybe you're retired now and the structure is just gone. Your phone isn't buzzing with requests, and you realize you're waking up in the morning without a clear why. You're getting through the day, but you're not really going anywhere. Tuesday night is just Tuesday night. And that unsettled feeling you can't explain is something real. What you're feeling is the slow dismantling of scaffolding that used to give your life shape. You used to have clear roles, responsibilities, and routines. The world stopped handing you a script. But here's the deeper truth. Your identity was probably built around being useful to a system that needed you. You were the provider, the problem solver, the guy people could count on. Your worth was probably measured to some extent by how busy your calendar looked, how many people depended on you, and how effectively you could respond to external demands. This wasn't just about having things to do, it was about having a clear place in the world. Your job title told you to some degree who you were. Your family role told you what mattered. Your responsibilities told you how to spend your time. The external scorecard was always visible. Busy meant important. Needed meant valuable. Indispensable meant successful. But now, your kids, hopefully, handle their own problems. Your expertise at work, if you're still there, has become routine. The crises that used to energize you have been replaced by predictable maintenance. The urgent has become ordinary. Most guys don't realize that that's what's happening. They just think they've lost their edge or assume that this is just how life slows down. But you haven't lost your purpose. You've lost the framework that used to give it shape. And unless you build a new one, the default setting becomes a quiet, slow erosion of energy, direction, and self. Here's what most men don't understand. The external structure that organized your life for decades was never actually about you. Not that that's all bad, but it's important to understand. It was about what you could provide to others, your employer, your family, your community. You became incredibly good at optimizing for external metrics, at being useful within systems designed by others. And as we get older, the activities of our lives largely transition from an externally imposed structure that shows us what to do to an internally derived one we must create intentionally. But nobody teaches us that or how you make that transition. And if you like what you're hearing so far, I'd really appreciate it if you'd like this video. It helps the channel grow and tells me you'd like to see more content like this. Thank you. The reality is, at least to some degree, most of us follow the script we were handed. Go to school, get a job, build a career, provide, protect, perform, be useful. And the script worked because it came with built-in validation. Promotions, pay raises, your boss or at least someone praising your work ethic, your son or daughter asking for advice. You felt needed and relevant. But the script doesn't tell us what to do after all that. No one hands you the sequel. So you hit 50 or 60, the applause quiets down, the roles shrink, and you're standing there with no clear sense of what's next. Take the business owner who built a company from nothing, employed 30 people, then sold it. He's financially secure but feels completely untethered. What's winning supposed to look like when profit isn't the scorecard? Or the devoted father who was all in for his kids, coached their teams, never missed a recital, Now they're grown and don't need him the same way. He gave his best years to their success but has no idea what he wants beyond their happiness. Then there's the dependable guy who never made waves, showed up reliably for 25 years. He optimized so much for being useful to others that he never developed a sense of what he actually wanted for himself. He thought there was a pot of gold at the end of the reliability rainbow, but now it just feels hollow. Different men, different stories, but the same experience. You were living a life defined by structure and service designed by others. Now that both have faded, you're not sure where you're headed because you never had to learn internal navigation. The problem now is if you don't name what's actually happening, you'll compensate in ways that don't actually help. Most guys just fill the space however they can. More YouTube videos about nothing. Too much time doom scrolling the news. More home projects that keep their hands busy but don't really matter. A new hobby they kind of like but don't really care about. They stay busy because busy feels familiar even if it's not meaningful. Or they drift into nostalgia, reminiscing about when they were sharp, needed, and had a full plate. Some just go numb, wake up, drink coffee, do a few things, wonder what it was even for. It's possible that in some way you've already tried to fix this. Maybe you've read books or watched videos about finding your passion or something like that. Maybe you considered the retiring golf route. Maybe you researched starting a consulting business or volunteering at the local charity, but none of that stuck because without realizing it, you were probably still looking for someone else to hand you the next script, the next set of external expectations to organize your life around. This is what happens when the scaffolding comes down and nothing new gets built in its place. You keep trying to find an external system to plug into instead of learning to build your own. But here's the thing. This isn't the end, it's an invitation. No one's coming to hand you the next assignment. There is no automatic script anymore. That quiet you're hearing, that empty space, it's not a problem to be solved. It's a space to be filled intentionally. And for the first time in decades, you get to choose. The calendar may be empty, but that means it's finally yours. Why does this feel so hard? Well, you're fighting 30 years or so of conditioning that says your worth comes from being busy, needed, and validated by others. And when you first try to make choices based on what you want, rather than what's expected, it'll probably feel unnatural and might even feel selfish. That's normal. You've been trained to measure your value by external metrics. The work isn't finding the perfect next chapter. It's developing the skill of internal navigation when you've spent decades following external scripts. You don't find your new direction by thinking about it endlessly. You find it by moving, taking small, deliberate steps and watching what lights up. More often, the path reveals itself as you start walking down it. So, even starting to walk in the wrong direction at first is better than analysis paralysis because it'll help you move more quickly in a better direction. First, start making choices based on energy, not obligation. When someone asks you to take on a responsibility, don't automatically say yes because you're capable. Ask, does this energize me or drain me? Is it a hell yeah or a no? And this isn't about being selfish. You're still free to do things for others when you want. Just be mindful of what you're doing. It's about learning to use your internal compass instead of just responding to external requests as you've been conditioned to do for years. Practice this with small decisions first. Second, look for something that asks for you, not just your time, not a filler activity, not a checkbox. And this could be something like mentoring someone who reminds you of your younger self, building something that reflects your values or skills, or solving a real problem in your community or field that actually frustrates you. It doesn't have to be big, but it should do two things. One, require you to bring something real, your perspective, your experience, your voice. And two, actually matter if you don't show up. This isn't about staying busy. It's about choosing something that draws out your specific contribution. Not a role, not a mask, but you. The structure that once steered your life is gone. And that's not failure, it's just the truth. Purpose doesn't announce itself with clarity. It reveals itself in motion, in showing up, trying things, choosing something and sticking with it long enough to see what develops. The rudder doesn't return on its own. It's built slowly, intentionally, by deciding what matters now and moving toward it one choice at a time. Be sure to share what your experience has been. Can you relate to this? Does it make sense? Or do you have your own perspective on it you'd like to share? And if you like videos like this for middle-aged men, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.